Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. Today, as you can tell from the title of the video, I'm going to be trying out a new detangling brush from a Black-owned brand called Cosmology and comparing it to my favorite detangling brush. So if you would like to see that, then just keep watching. So before we get started, if you are new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I upload new videos. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I appreciate each and every one of you. So let's get into the video. So I recently came across a brand of natural hair tools that I've seen a couple other YouTubers use. I think the first person I saw use it was Akia from A Love For Me. I've also seen, I think, Lexi from Candid Kinks use it before, and a couple other YouTubers as well. But the product that I'm talking about is this KurlsPlus paddle comb. And this is what it looks like. And it's obviously a very unique design. So it's kind of like a brush and a comb in one because it has kind of the feel of a comb, like a wide tooth comb, but in the design of a brush. And so just to tell you a little bit about it, it says, say goodbye to hair tools that rip and snag your delicate tresses. Say hello to a fresh solution that will allow you to detangle your hair with minimal stress. The magic is in the design of the teeth. They are rounded, seamless, and shaped to mimic your fingers, giving you a combing experience unlike any other. The features are, it has an oval-shaped head that fits in your palm for added control, convenient thumb rests and curved handle for comfort, and a pointed tip for parting and sectioning. And so you can see all of that. So has that kind of oval shape. So if you want to hold it from there for more control, you can. The thumb grip here, you can see there's a little indent right there where you can kind of hold it that way as well. And it fits pretty comfortably in your hand. So that's pretty cool. And then there is that kind of curved tip that you can use for parting. And I usually have my hair sectioned in 4 sections and twists, but I didn't do that today so that I can test that out and see if that works well for parting. So we are going to try that out today. The instructions say a universal detangling tool that works well on a variety of hair types. To detangle, always start at the ends of your hair and work your way up to the roots. It can also be used to comb through curls after a roller set to create a softer look. Clean with warm water and shampoo. Avoid using with heat as it may damage the tool. So that was all from the back of the packaging that I just read. Pretty cool. I'm excited to try this out. I've seen some pretty good reviews about it. And it is, like I mentioned, Black owned. It is owned by 3 sisters, the Stirrup Sisters. And I will show you, this is the little card that came in the packaging with the order. So very cute. I love that it's 3 sisters and it's Black, woman owned. Definitely something that I support. So definitely wanted to try it out. And now I'm going to be putting this brush up against my favorite detangling brush and the brush that I usually use on all of my wash days, which is the Michel Mercier brush. This is a brush that you can get on Amazon. I think they sell it in like certain beauty supply stores and things like that. It is also a very unique design, as you can tell from the bristles. Sorry, there's my hair in there because obviously I use it often. Didn't clean it out all the way, but it is a very unique design in that it has a lot of bristles. And so it kind of works quickly and efficiently, but without tugging your hair. And they're all in kind of different lengths of the bristles to kind of get all of those tangles out of your hair. So I really like this brush. This is my go-to detangling tool whenever I'm detangling my hair. So I figured I'm going to put the Cosmology brush up against this to see kind of how they compare. Normally I would detangle my hair in the shower with my either a rinse out conditioner or with my deep conditioner. I didn't do that today because I wanted to be able to do this on camera with you guys and just didn't feel like doing all that in the shower. So I have already washed and deep conditioned my hair, but I didn't detangle during the deep condition step so that I could test it out. So I'm going to use a leave-in detangler and use that to kind of put these up against each other. So let's get right into it. All right, so we're going to get right into using this brush. I'm going to use this one first and then use my Michel Mercier on the other side. But I wanted to show you the kind of pointed tip and see how it works for parting my hair. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and do that. My middle part is usually always there just because I always keep my hair in a middle part, and so it just kind of naturally goes that way. But I do like to part my hair into 4 sections when I'm styling. So I'm gonna see if I can use this to, kind of awkward to hold it that way, to part my quadrants. It's a little awkward, but I can see kind of where they're going. Maybe if you were parting a smaller section, I feel like it doesn't really work that great with, yeah, I kind of gave up on that. I could see that working if maybe your hair wasn't as dense as mine, but yeah, for me, it's just too awkward to try to like hold it that way and then keep it kind of where it's supposed to. I guess it kind of works. I don't know. I think the one on the wide tooth comb is a little bit better suited for that. This one is just, it's kind of thick and it's like chunky and awkward. I mean, it did the job, but I had to kind of help it with my fingers. I probably wouldn't part with it, but it's a cool feature to add. Like I said, if your hair is less dense than mine, it probably would work a little bit better. And my hair is damp from rinsing out a deep conditioner. I just finished deep conditioning my hair. It is damp, but it also has been sitting in a towel for a little bit, so I am going to re-wet it a little bit with some water. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so I've wet this section, and I'm kind of just wet it so that it's damp, it's not soaking wet. But the detangler I'm going to be using is the Tahiti Cocktail Leave-In Smoothie from She Sent It. I have a separate video of a full wash day using She Sent It products where I use this as well as the Tahiti Cocktail Custard. So if you want to see that, I will link it below if that video comes out before this one. Otherwise, I'll put it in the description box when it does come out. This is my first time trying this detangler, so this will also kind of be a first impressions. But this is what it looks like. It's pretty thick. I'm going to apply that to this section, and then I'm going to break this section in half, or maybe in more than half, to try out this brush. And I think because it is so big and the bristles are so long, I could probably do smaller section or bigger sections than I usually do, but we'll just see. I'm going to just start with that, and I want to go in with this. And now I've seen people use it differently. Some people use it as like a first step to detangle and then go in with a different tool. I don't think I like that light there because it's casting a shadow. So I'm starting at the end like I always do when I detangle. I started off using it, kind of holding it by the handle, but I do feel like I have more control if I hold it up here. So I do like it better that way. I do see this being slippery if you were to use it in the shower, so that's the only issue I could see with that. But so far, let's see. That did a pretty good job. It's going through pretty nicely. I do feel like there's a little bit of tugging. But I think because holding it this way definitely gives you more control. And I think as long as you kind of notice that and are more careful in those sections where you feel tugging, then you can kind of avoid that. I like it. It's very different. It's a different feel than when I usually detangle, but not bad. That section detangled, and that's about how much hair came out. So I'm going to do the other part of that section. Now, the one thing I will say with this brush is that usually when I detangle during the styling part, I want to keep the definition, and this definitely did not do that. So I could see this being better for If you're doing like a stretch style, maybe like if you're gonna do a twist out, I think this would be better for that because it does kind of stretch out your curls a little bit and you lose that definition. So that's the only thing I would say. I'm trying to decide if I want to do this in one section. I'll do this in one section. I think it worked pretty well. That's the only thing I would say is that you do kind of lose, as you can see, we're starting off with my hair looking pretty defined, and it kind of makes it look stretched a little bit. So that's the only thing with that. But if that's what you're going for, or if you're doing this step prior to styling, then it wouldn't really matter. It does detangle a pretty large section at a time. I probably could have split this section in half, but didn't really feel like it. But it's getting through it. I mean, it's definitely detangling. And like I said, I'm starting at the bottom, working my way up. I do like that it's a relatively wide brush, so it can kind of get through that large section. The amount of hair that came out about the same. So all together in that section, as we'll compare it to my Michel Mercier, had that much shedding. I will say that my hair doesn't feel as smooth as it does when I use my Michel Mercier brush. It definitely feels detangled and soft, but it doesn't feel smooth. Like I feel like my other brush definitely smooths out the cuticles well. This doesn't really do that, but it's not meant for that. It's just meant for detangling, so can't really fault it for that. Overall, I think this is a pretty good brush so far. I don't know that it's the most comfortable. It feels comfortable at first when you're holding it, you know, but when you're actually using it, it's not really that comfortable to hold it this way. I definitely prefer to hold it this way. So it's nice that they have it designed in a way that you can do that. I almost feel like you don't really need the handle. Like it could just be like a brush that you, kind of like the Tangle Teaser where you just hold that part. But some people might prefer it this way. I didn't feel like it was that comfortable to use it that way with the thickness of my hair, but yeah, I like it so far. I think it's a great brush. So that is the Cosmology paddle comb. So now we're going to compare it to my usual detangling tool, which is the Michel Mercier brush. And we're going to do that on this section. So I'm going in with the smoothie. All right, and now I'm going in with my, take that hair out of there, Michel Mercier brush. And I would work in kind of smaller sections, but just to be fair with the comparison, I kind of want to do the same size section. Actually, it's funny because I used to think that this would detangle so quickly, but now that I'm using it after having used the Cosmology brush, it doesn't seem that quick. But again, like I said, I usually do smaller sections, so that might be part of it. It didn't feel as smooth as it normally does, so it might be the product. Maybe that detangler just isn't smoothing my hair as well. But usually after using that brush, it's pretty defined still, and it did the same thing that the other section did. So maybe it's the smoothie that's doing that. So I won't say that that's the brush. I'll have to try it again on like wet hair with a conditioner, because I think the smoothie is what's giving me that kind of stretched result. Now, one thing I will say is that the Cosmology brush is much easier to take hair out of. This Michel Mercier brush is kind of a pain to clean, because I'm trying to show you how much hair shedding I have out of it, but it's kind of hard to get all of it out. But it looks like about the same. Maybe it's slightly less than the Cosmology brush. We'll see once I'll compare once I have this whole section done. But yeah, the Cosmology brush definitely is easier to clean out. This brush, in comparison to the Cosmology brush, it has a little grip on the handle, so it's technically kind of ergonomic, but I don't feel like that's comfortable either. And it's not really comfortable to hold it that way because it's so wide. So as far as like ease of use, I think the Cosmology brush probably wins in that end. Like I can do it with it this way, but it's just not as comfortable. And the grips are fine, but they get kind of difficult when you're in the shower or your hair is soaking wet. So you can see this section, it's kind of still maintaining its definition. Whereas before, the other section was kind of like getting poofy. You know what I mean? It's still getting kind of poofy, so I don't know. I think it's just this detangler. For some reason, it's just not maintaining the definition. But okay, well that's that section. All right, and again, this is how much hair shedding. And so for that whole section, and again, there's a little bit still left in the brush because it's hard to get all of it, but that's for that whole section. So if you compare kind of the Cosmology side, this was the Cosmology side, and then this is the Michel Mercier side, there is slightly less hair shedding with the Cosmology side. Again, it's harder to get. There's a little bit still left in the brush, but there was some left in the brush prior to me starting because I can't get it all out. I don't know if I can fully say that this pulls out less hair. It definitely felt like it pulled out less hair because I didn't feel that tugging the way I did with the Cosmology brush. But that might just have to do with the size of section that I was using. So I'll have to try again, maybe with a smaller section, which actually, let's do that in the front section. I'm going to try it in smaller pieces and see if that makes a difference. And I'm going to start with the Cosmology brush. And actually for this section, just since it's smaller, it does feel a little bit more comfortable to hold it down here. Yeah, it does kind of feel like it's tugging, but it definitely detangled nice and quick. Okay. Just a tiny bit of shedding for that section. And then I'm going to try the same thing with my Michel Mercier. And actually, I can try... It's just so awkward to hold. I was going to say I could try sectioning since it's a smaller section. Yeah, it's just awkward to hold. Like, how would you hold that? It definitely does the job, but it's kind of awkward. I'd rather just use a rat tail comb. All right. I would say if we're working in smaller sections, it's probably about the same as far as the amount of hair shedding, as well as how quickly it detangles. Yeah, so if you're working in smaller sections, I feel like they did about the same. In bigger sections, I think the Michel Mercier kind of pulled less on my hair, like it didn't tug as much. But I think the Cosmology brush did a faster job of detangling in the bigger section. In smaller sections, it's kind of the same. So, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to finish detangling off camera because I think I have my final thoughts on this brush. Overall, I really like this brush. I think it's a unique design, and I think it is great, especially if you have really thick hair like me and you want to get kind of large sections detangled pretty quickly. I think this is a great brush for that because the teeth are so long, and it's smooth and doesn't really snag. Like I mentioned, I did feel a little bit of pulling on my hair, but I think it might have been different if I was detangling on wet hair with conditioner versus damp hair with a leave-in conditioner. I think a lot of variations would make that different. But I like the brush. I think I would use it mostly to detangle before I do like a twist out or some kind of stretch style where I don't need to maintain the definition of my hair. I think this would be best for that. I could see this being great for like 4C hair, just because it helps kind of stretch it out and get it fully detangled. And just anybody with super dense hair. I don't have 4C hair, but I have pretty dense hair. So I have a lot of the same kind of challenges that someone with 4C hair would have when it comes to the thickness of my hair. So this is a great brush for that, because I think just being able to get through that big of a section quickly and efficiently is definitely helpful and something that I need. I like this brush. I definitely recommend it. Now, would I use it instead of my usual Michel Mercier? Probably not. I still really love this brush, especially for detangling in the shower. When it comes to kind of the design of the brushes, they both kind of suck as far as like if it's wet, because this is gonna just slip out of my hand. I can tell you that right now. It's a great design as far as the shape of it and everything, but because it's so smooth, this is not gonna work in the shower. This one I tend to keep in the shower, and it does an okay job. It does have kind of the rubber grip around the side, but it still gets slippery, and it's, you know, it's not perfect, but it is definitely better suited for using in the shower. So I would probably continue to use this as my kind of detangling with conditioner in the shower brush. This I will keep outside the shower and use it for like detangling for twist outs. This will continue to be my shower detangler because it is still a great brush, and I still love this for detangling. But overall, I like both of them. I will continue to use both. I definitely recommend this if you get a chance to try it out. You can get it on their website. I'll link that in the description box. I think they're sold in certain beauty supply stores as well, so you might be able to get them there. Definitely recommend it if you feel like trying it out. Let me know if you guys have tried this or have heard of this brush and what your thoughts are on it. I don't know why I left this one little like twist out here looking crazy, but anyway, let me know your thoughts. If you haven't subscribed already, definitely stick around, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll know when I upload new videos. And I think that's it for this time. So until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.